Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the channel. I know you guys haven't seen me on the channel here on the actual videos, but I'm the person or the coach, however you guys want to call it, who makes all the drills and practices for the kid or the teenager, the player, the guys that you guys watch all the time. Um, so I hope you guys like those videos. We make them for you. We want you to um, be better or to learn from it. Just take the best that you can from it. I'm not a professional coach, but I do study, as much as I can. I'm a national coach here in United States, so I do have some knowledge. I don't know everything. I learn every day. I like to do that. I do that as a hobby, and I take a lot of time for it and pride as well. So if I know something, I'm gonna teach it to the players, whoever I'm coaching. That's my thing. I'm just like that. I like to teach players. I want them to be better, and if I can make them better, that's what I'm here for. One thing that I want to talk about is usually there is a lot of how can I say it? It's coaches, they always talk about, oh, parents are telling me this, that, oh, my kid doesn't play, or the parents are always getting into the coaches, or saying, why should we put their kid to play, or why you're not putting my kid to play, or what is he doing wrong, or what's going on. So we I actually did a little study on it because I wanted to get more into it. Yes, of course, I did classes of it. I took classes to see how to develop a player, for a long time. Probably been studying for about 5 years already, just straight, like almost like every day. I try to learn something new, and so I'm gonna show you a graph and what it says, and I wrote it down. Wrote it down right here. What's one of the questions? So what they did is they did a survey for coaches from United States. Okay, so the question was, how do you determine the playing time of a player in your team? So this question was asked to many coaches here in the United States, and they give them like answers, so they will kind of I guess choose an answer from there. And one of the question was the answer was A, hardworking players at practice. B, the best players in your team. You choose the best players, and that's the one you place. And number three, and C was that they all should play the same amount of time. So most, and I will show you, like I said, I put the graph up here. What they chose, they said 52% of the coaches, they choose that the hard working players at practice, those are the ones that should be playing more time in the games. 30% they chose that they should be the same time. So it doesn't matter how you play, if you did good or bad, that they should play at least 30%. I mean, they should play a good amount of time, or should play at the same time. So 30%. Let's just say they did a survey on 1,000 coaches. For what I heard, I think it was 1,000 coaches. So that's what they answered. So what I'm saying is that 300 of those coaches, of 1,000 coaches, they said that they all should play the same amount of time. And 16%, which was, maybe like I said, 160 coaches of 1,000, they said that the best players of the team should play. So I think that was pretty much what most of the coaches said. Like I said, personal on my on what I'm thinking right now. That usually how do I do it? I don't really go based on this because I don't know the statistics. How do they chose, like, okay, we're gonna evaluate this coach because he's we're gonna put a competitive team, and we're gonna ask this question. So he's a competitive coach, so we're gonna ask this question to them. So this survey was done for coaches all around the United States. So I'm pretty sure they did AYSO, competitive. It's mostly what we, recreative, um, what's it, coaches, more than competitive. So I think that it's, on my opinion, I think it's a little different on competitive teams than not competitive or more recreational teams. Eh, I think that if you have, personally, if you are a player or a parent that has a competitive player, you should always take your player or put your son, or if you are a player and you make those decisions, you should always play on the highest level that you can. Of course, you cannot play on the level that you're gonna be a bench all the time. You have to know at a certain age. Of course, if you're a parent and you're watching this, or you're a coach, a parent like myself, you should be able to see that, okay, my kid is playing, we all parents, we all think our kid is the best player. That's all we all think like that. So I mean, if you gotta see it from, not only from your eyes as a parent, but also as someone else. Like if you're looking at another kid, you gotta really see what it is. You gotta see other kids, the level that they play, how they play, more aggressive, more competitive, and things like that. The effort that they put when they train or when they play. That you have to see that. So let's say I have my kid that, if my kid is not competitive, and I know that if I put him on a competitive environment, and if he's playing recreational and now he wants to go competitive, yeah, there is steps for him to go there. I think that it could happen. Okay, so let's just say an example. Let's say if my kid, he plays recreational, and I wanted to move him to a higher level because now it's too easy for him to play there. I don't think that he's gonna learn more there. It doesn't mean because of the coach, but also for where is he competing against who. So that's the things that you gotta put into into yourself, or where is your kid at. So definitely your kid can play can go from recreational to very competitive, academies, whatever you think your kid can go to, or you can always try. But remember, sometimes a lot of the kids that I've seen, a lot of the kids that they go and play academies and then they come back, or if the kid is not competitive enough on a regular competitive team, he will. A lot of times they go from recreational, and the parents wants to put it on a more competitive team, and he's not doing well, or he's just not getting enough play time. He'll probably be better at just put him on the lower level team, maybe something in the middle where he can play. Playing, that's all they need right now. Until the age of 13, I believe. The kid just needs to play and play and practice and play every time. It's just playing and playing and playing, practicing. So he needs to play a lot, so he gets used to the game. He learns the game. He's gonna learn, tactics after that, and dribbling, all the basic stuff. But so that was the. I just want to get into a little more detail into that. But that was the question that they asked the coaches. Want to bring it up to you guys one more time? Is how do you determine the playing time of a player? That was a question of this video. And like I said, it was most of the coaches that they asked the question, or they did the survey on them, was that they picked 52% that would put a player to play more time if it was a hardworking player at practice. So that means that if your kid, if you're a parent or if you're a coach, and there's a player or your kid that is practicing really hard, but when he goes to the games, he doesn't play as well, most of the coaches here in the USA, they will put him to play. That's what it means. And there's a saying that says the way you practice is the way you play. I believe in that, but personally, I think there is a lot many things on that not just, I will not answer questions like this. I mean, personally, I don't believe that, because you can have a player that does not practice as hard, but when the games come to be, or we play a game, it changes. Since it's a very competitive player, it will give his 100%, 100 and something percent into that game, and even when he's at practice, he doesn't give his 100%. So it's not just a question. So that means that maybe this survey that I will put the graph in up here. I'm gonna put it up here so you guys can see everything, all the information that I got. So I don't really think that it's just based on competitive players here in the USA. I think it was based more on a recreational level. That's what I think. I think recreational level, you should put your kid to play as much as you can. He needs to play every day. And if you have him if it's not competitive enough yet, or if it's competitive at a certain level, then he's good where he's at. Let him play. As he goes, older. When he grows older, he's gonna get into more. He's gonna maybe become more competitive, and then you're gonna go on from there. There's been cases on my case here that I get players that maybe they don't practice as hard 100%. They don't like to go, one-on-one versus someone in their own team. They don't want to play hard against someone in their own team. They're not into that. So you got to really play with a lot of that. I mean, you got to see a lot of that thinking of a player. That's why it's really important to always give the space to the coach, or you as a parent just got your players. Remember, it's always positive all the time. Always is positive first, then you explain. Okay, so if you're a parent, let's just say your kid did something wrong on the field, and I don't know how much of a soccer do you understand. Maybe you can be, I don't know, maybe you're better than me, and you can understand the whole soccer game and whatever. But that doesn't matter. What I mean is that let's just say your kid did a bad, I don't know, he missed a goal. Let's say it's a forward, he missed a goal, and then he goes to the house, you're driving to the house, and you're like, the first thing is like, you missed a goal or something like that. That will bring the kid down. Don't talk about it unless he wants to ask questions or something like that about that or something like that. You just, the first thing that you tell the kid once he gets out of the team of the games, like, do you have fun today? Was it good? Do you enjoy it? All positive stuff. Remember, it's a learning. If you're watching this, and if you're not a professional player, or if you're a parent that your kid is not a professional player, even professional players, they do mistakes. So you've seen it, professional players missing penalties, bad passes, they do bad at defending, they do bad at playing middle, bad at forward. So it's not, all of them are learning every day, even professional players that they practice, I don't know how many hours a day sometimes. So I just want to go into a little more, more depth into this. I think it's really important topic, and I know it can go for a long time, and there's always answers from different coaches. But on my personal opinion, that's what I think. I think that it's more into that. I don't believe like what it says here on the graph. Put it again. I'm gonna post it here again. I'm just posting it a few times so you guys see it. I don't believe because a player that practice hard on the training, just on the training, he gives his 100%. I don't believe that he has a spot on the team on the weekend. If he trains 3 times a week, something like that, 2 times a week, and he trains really hard, and then when he gets to the game, he doesn't give you 100%. I don't think that player deserves to play the whole game or more time than others. I think that you had to really be thinking about, as a coach, how can you play with this? How can you make him, train harder? Or maybe you gotta understand the player. Maybe he's going, there's always things that happening at the house. The parents' kids at the age of, once they start getting into, start being teenagers, and that's different. It's different coaching someone that is 8, 10, 11, 12 years old, and coaching 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old players. So it's always something to think about. Motivation, I think, is really important for every player. I think that you have to motivate a player every single game. Practice as much as you can. I know practices are tough, and everybody wants to go home after that. You know, things like parents, they pick their kids sometimes. They just pick them up, and you have to go. You cannot talk to them. It's tough, but like every time you have a chance, you got to motivate a player. Every single time you have a chance, you got to talk to them and tell them something that they did good. All the time, something good, so they can become, you know, better. They can give you 100%, and they're gonna play a lot harder for you every time that you play. That's my opinion. So I'm gonna probably put a picture of the team. I'm coaching the team right now. It's the 2005. So they're 15 years old. I got 15 and 14-year-old players. Really proud of them. So if they're watching this video, just want to say hi to all of them. Very proud of them. Really a really fantastic team and players. Everybody does their 100%. They're really good. And we're here in Southern California, and we're on the top places here. So very proud of them. They have done a really, really good job. So just want to give a shout out to them. So you know they'll be watching this game, this video, because I'm gonna send it to them so they can watch it a little bit. But anyway, just wanna, like I said, I want to talk about this a little bit. Remember, I'm gonna be talking about this kind of topics, stuff like that, about coaching and us as parents. Remember, as parent, don't get involved with the coach, with those managers, with the administrators, with all of that. Just do your job. Take your kid to practice as far as you can be from the kid. From your son is the best. If you can be, I don't know, just drop him off and you can do some walking or running, whatever you want to do. I don't think the coach is gonna make him run more than the other kids. So everybody's gonna be doing the same. Just make him do their own, you know, let him focus on the practice. As I say, there was a study in Spain that they said that actually for some of the teams in Barcelona from the youth academies, they said that the players, that the parents were not there watching them train, they developed a lot better, 30% better than the other players that the parents were always there watching at the training. At the games, all the parents needs to go and support, cheer him out, you know, do all the good stuff like, oh yeah, you know, good job, great, not just to your son. Remember, it's a team. You gotta cheer for everybody. So I hope, I don't know, something that I just want to talk about. One of the more critical, I think, for a lot of the parents and coaches for these teams in the United States that are that really brings attention to a lot of this soccer. Hopefully this helps. Keep watching the videos, okay? Subscribe, watch the videos. We're gonna be posting a lot more videos, and the kid that you see training there is my son. His name is Leon, and he's playing with us. He's playing a year older, so he's 14 right now, almost 14. But he's playing with the 15-year-old players, 14, 15-year-old players. So that's the age that he has. So if you see him training, that's some kind of training just for him, for the age. You know, usually the trains that we do is for someone that is between 11 and 17-year-old, 18-year-old players. Okay, so if you're on that age, do those trainings. It's gonna help you out. Just keep practicing, play with the ball, dribble, do all this touches with the ball. It's gonna help you. Remember, it's a muscle memory. That's really important. So the more you do with the ball, you're gonna learn a lot more. I hope that these videos will help you to be better as a player and as a parent. Maybe you can play them to your kids, and hopefully this video help you with that questions about those coaches. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for your support.